let us bring up her brother, dear woke
What's
Christian.
going on, man?
How are you doing?
Good, man. Good to see y'all. Happy Monday to y'all.
Thank you. Now you are in addition to being a high value man, you have your own YouTube channel. You're a content creator. Is that right?
That is correct. I do create that old content. Yes, I do, sir.
Excellent. Why don't you shout out your channel real quickly and tell us what you got going on over there, and then tell us what you think about this whole little Woody situation. Yeah,
Woody's wild. Woody is wild. Everybody, my name is Jason from Dear Woke Christian. I like to talk about social and political issues and give commentary from a Christian male perspective. And I like to look at whether it be Fonnie Willis and what's going on with Nate. I thought it was egregious that she was at a church down the street and around the corner from my house. So that's why I went there last Thursday. Mm-hmm. And it was wild. It was totally wild. And we can talk for 2 days about that. But I like to talk about those things and give it a Christian perspective. I did have a question, though, if I could ask Lead and AV. With Judge Glanville, please forgive me, throwing Brian in contempt. And we all saw that it went south real quick with Ashley coming in and Gackle. It's fair to say that Judge Glanville probably deep down inside wish he could take it back. Yeah. So can a judge, after I've declared, AV, you are in contempt of court, I'm going to throw you in jail, can he say, never mind, I changed my mind? Can he do that? Because it just seemed like you almost kind of wish Glanville could say, never mind, I apologize, I'm not going to throw you in jail. Because it just seemed like it's just going to be a dumpster fire forever. Can he do that?
Yes, he can do that. A judge can always change his mind 100%. A judge can always revisit his orders. He can reconsider any stance that he has. Now, what's the problem? They can do this. They very rarely do this without pressure because they're humans. This judge has made a lot of decisions that he wanted to stand on until he got so much pushback. One of these decisions, of course, was to throw Brian Steele in jail and lock him up and throw away the key until he told the name of the person. And Ashley Merchant and her co-counsel from Gactel had to come in and save the day and to convince him, no, you cannot do that. You can only give him the 20 days. Judge Glanville did this again when he was trying to keep Woody's attorney in the case because the judge suspects that Woody's attorney, Ms. Rumpkis, is the mole.
Bumpkins, man.
Right?
Wow.
And the judge wanted to keep her in the case, even though Woody said no, cut her out. Even though the prosecution said no, cut her out. Even though the defense counsel said no, cut her out. Everybody wanted her out except for Judge Glanville, and they had to argue with that man for over 30 minutes to convince him to let her out. And so this judge, once he makes up his mind, you have to basically show him that it's the wrong way, because if you don't, he's just going to think it's the right way.
So there's no way, because I feel bad for him, because I'm like, this whole contempt thing is really, I see a lot of people saying that it's his ego, in my opinion. It's his ego, like just take the L, like just go ahead and he's collected a couple L's in here, so he's LL Cool J for sure. So just going to rock this bell too, and just going to accept it and just go on, because you got the girl has to come back on the 25th. Yeah, this contempt trial could be going on for quite some time.
It's super petty. It's very
like just let it go.
And the way that he did it too was petty, because it's like even when he gave her the order, he slid her the order at lunch. Like after lunch, it was just like, oh, you've given us your notice of withdrawal. Okay, here's this. I have an order to show cause. You're going to be here in 10 business days. Like I said, when, I tried to, even when he said she's fired, he said, oh, well, sir, you have 10 days to think about it.
No,
you want to make sure. Exactly. He said it. He made his decision. Judge Glanville brilliantly still took those 10 days to get his way and made them come back in 10 business days. So it's super petty.
Yeah, it just seems like, to the point, the young man from the UK that called in, to me, it shows just how dysfunctional our system can be when you have situations like this. It seems so egregious and so out of pocket. And lo and behold, this man, and it just seems like, again, ego is running the show. And it just seems wild. And then the very, very last thing, can the jurors hear the video that the interrogation? Because I'm like, good gracious, if it's is this bad for us, how bad is it for the jurors? Do they have some way of hearing it? Because it just sounds terrible over here.
Yes, here's the thing. The jury, we are not allowed to see who the jury members
Right.
are.
Yeah,
They're
for sure.
confidential. But the jury is in there when all this stuff is playing. The jury is sitting right off camera. The
Gotcha.
jury is sitting to Woody's right.
Woody's right.
Maybe
Yeah.
like 3 feet away. The jury's right there.
Wow.
And so they can hear everything. Now, one question is, the audio from the video sounds very bad unless you are wired in. If you're wired in,
Right.
it sounds much better. And they have given Woody a pair of earphones to kind of wire himself in. Bless you, AB. I wonder if the jurors also are wired in,
right,
or if they have to hear the terrible audio that is being pumped through the court system.
Because it is a mess. And I mean, I'm sure they never intended for this to become like something that literally everybody's tuning in for every day. Because I'm sure they would have wired the courtroom better. But like, I want everybody to have microphones, like literally get everybody little wireless mics so we can hear them better and so on and so forth and pump the audio through. But yeah, I was just wondering, like, can they hear this? Because I know it's hard for us to hear it and understand what Woody's talking about. Can the jurors understand what Woody's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like it would almost create more of a problem because people can be like, well, I didn't understand what he said. Well, I understood what he said.
Yeah,
I had my hearing aid turned up.
Yeah, the court has a lot of problems today. They ain't got AC. They ain't got Wi-Fi. Courtroom is all types of shenanigans happening there this morning.
Fulton County got the shenanigans on lockdown for sure.
Yeah. And it's an old courtroom, if we're going to be honest. I mean, you know where it is, and the whole building is old. Every now and then, guys, these courtrooms, they will get refurbished or they will get a makeover. And you can go to these courthouses that you've been going to for so many years, and then they'll do a whole new makeover and they will install state-of-the-art equipment, state-of-the-art tech, state-of-the-art audio. This court building is an older building.
It's not that building.
Yeah, like they having problems just with the internet, with the AC. You know what I'm saying? So it's not surprising that these courtrooms are not built for technology. A lot of attorneys, older tech. If you go to some of these older attorneys, they don't even have websites, guys. Some of these attorneys, once they get into their 70s and 80s, they don't even know how to use email. If you want to contact them, you have to email their girl. They call them a girl.
Yep.
You have to email their paralegal, and the paralegal is the one who handles all of the email. So judges are really not equipped. Older judges, they don't really follow the technology like that, nor do older attorneys. But the new ones are coming in with the technology skills. Yes, sir.
You don't think Glanville got a TikTok?
All right. Who knows?
He ain't on TikTok.
He has an earring. You know, he has an earring in his ear, so he might not be too old. You know, he trying to keep it young.
Let me ask you the very last question. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we all also agree that this RICO thing is just entirely too much. It's massive. There were literally 28 defendants when they first started this. If each one of them had an attorney or two attorneys, you can see pretty quickly that courtroom would have been jam-packed. Mm-hmm. So most people are saying, hey, maybe RICO should only be done by the feds. Let's just say that was the case. Where would they try a federal RICO case? Would they try it here in Georgia? Would they ship them up to somewhere else? Like, where would they try a federal case?
Typically it would be, you're talking about a federal case. You're talking about
right. Or let's just say the YSL case was a federal case, not a Fulton County case, or the voting interference case was a federal case instead of a Fulton County case. Would they still try it in the same building, or would they?
Well, it would typically be in a federal building. The federal building has its own federal courthouses.
Yep.
So it would be in the federal courthouse, but it would be here in Atlanta.
Still be in Atlanta, but it's in the federal
building. When Tasha K got sued by Cardi B, mm-hmm. and Tasha K was ordered to pay $4 million, that trial occurred in the federal courthouse.
Yep.
And I was there for that trial, reporting on it. And it was a federal judge, a federal jury, all right there in Atlanta. So wow. Yeah, it would be a federal case. They would have to try it here in Fulton County because that's the jurisdiction. That is where the majority of the crimes took place.
Got it.
So this would be where they have it here. So, great questions, dear woke Christian.
Yeah, I'm glad you helped me out.
Oh yeah, and talk a little bit about my course now that you're up here. Let me.
Is that what we're doing? We're doing a testimonial.
Yeah. Now, dear woke Christian, you took the course. What are some of the good, the bad, and the ugly?
There's some ugly in there. Ugly in there. No.
Yeah.
And hear me, when I said ugly, and thank you for allowing me to clarify that, it was just some certain little things that I mentioned in my post about it, just that I thought could have been done slightly different. Not saying that they were bad, and I had to search to find ugly things.
Listen, tell it. All right, and I want to be clear, guys. I am a older grizzly attorney. All right, I am not a course maker. And so this was my very first course. And did I put my heart and soul into it? Absolutely. But were there things upon reflection that could have been done even better? Yes. Yep. And so I love it. I love it. If you're like, hey, Lee, you could have done this, you could have done that. Tell these people what it is. So yeah,
let me give you this little caveat as well. I'm a 15-year retired classroom teacher. So telling stories and education and teaching is my deal. So I really did appreciate the fact that, Lee, I don't know, man, you did a great job of laying out the case, if you will. You start with like who you are, how you got into YouTubing and such like that. You did an excellent job on that. I do think you make a great, you follow through if you're interested. If you're starting on YouTube, you've never turned on a camera, if you already have a camera on, or if you've been doing it for a while, I think everybody can benefit from it. I do admit I listen to the engagement chapter several times a week. I probably listen to it quite a bit, as well as how to make some money, because I got to remember that.
Okay. But did you get the advanced course or the beginner's course or both?
I got just the beginner's course.
Okay.
Simply because I wanted to understand, because I figured there were certain things that I'm not assuming that I know everything. I've been doing YouTube for about 3 years, but I don't assume that I know everything. And I certainly am not been anywhere in your range. So therefore I said, let me start at the beginner and get everything I need before I jump somewhere further and then start asking questions like, how did I get here? So that was my rationale behind it.
Gotcha.
But no. If you're considering getting the course, please consider it no longer. Go ahead and just do it. You will not be upset about it. What I found most beneficial is, again, the course outline is extremely clear. You can understand it very well. You can jump around if you need to. You can listen to, 14.2 again, or you can jump back up to 8.9, whatever like that. I think you did a great job explaining the various tools that you could use. For example, StreamYard versus OBS, why you might want to use this platform versus another one. Thought that was excellent. And you do a good job of putting them on game. I've always said if a YouTuber does not tell you exactly how much they're making, they're probably not making a lot.
All right.
And because you can easily just say, oh yeah, I'm making money on YouTube. Most people just think if you put a video on YouTube, you're going to get a check tomorrow. That's not the case at all. And you do a good job of explaining, laying it out, making the case for how you got here and what you do. So actually, I was listening more on yesterday. I took my daughter to Georgia Southern. And so I was actually listening to the your breakdown of your Patreon. I was like, yeah, I'm probably a little bit further even behind than when you were. I said, I need to go ahead and start that as well. So I was listening to that, really trying to get my arms around it. And I understood it quite well. Just got to go ahead and push the button and do it. So I would just say, again, if you're considering the course, definitely, unequivocally, I would suggest and highly encourage you to do so, because it is going to only make you a better YouTuber or content creator in general. You'll understand some of the things that are going on in the live chat. You understand certain things that are happening that Lee does, and so on and so forth, and why he does those, why other YouTubers do it, why they don't do it, those kind of things like that. You'll see it and you'll understand. So that's my
thank you so much. Shout out to Jero Christian, guys.
No problem, man.
Hit that like for Deal with Christian. Yo, for Deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for Deal with Christian. For Deal with Christian. Smash that bell for DWC. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for Deal with Christian.